Hey, it's almost said it was the Yak. No, that's in an hour. It is Pick Central, Barstool's daily gambling show. Where are you going, Frank? Where are you going? You doing something? Stop in for 2 minutes.
Tank Thursday, right?
Oh, and the Yak. He'll be back for the Yak. But hey, man, we'll talk about his tweet on the Yak. I want to do that. But the Dolphins don't have a first round pick tonight.
A second round pick either. Their only pick tomorrow is like a end of the third round, like sandwich round.
I understand, but you're still wearing the Merino jersey today. You're still excited about the draft, correct? Good day. It's NFL Draft Day.
Yeah, well, it's the NFL.
Uh-oh. What is? Oh, yes, the NFL Draft Show. So Tyreek Hill is the Dolphins' first round pick. That's a good year.
Yes.
That's a good year.
Yes.
You excited?
I just got to see if Tua is actually good.
Yeah.
You got Armstead too. I got a tackle and a.
Oh, they got several new things, several new toys on offense and defense, and it's when you heard the thing about Tom Brady, did you want that to happen?
No.
Why not? Because you hate Tom Brady? You'll never not hate Tom Brady?
I just think it's going to happen that he's going to find that year and he's going to just all the talent's going to leave him.
It's like what Manning happened at the end of the Manning year, that last Manning year where he could barely throw a pass.
Yep, and the last year of Drew Brees.
Yep.
Rivers. It was a slow decline on Drew. I mean, it was honestly the last few years, to be honest.
Roethlisberger. All right, Frank, I didn't mean to bother you. Go do whatever you're going to do, and then you'll be back at 1 o'clock for the Yak.
Yes.
Thank Thursday.
Yes.
All right, well.
All right.
Tank's also going to be involved in the draft show tonight. I don't know that I'm going to tell you how he's going to be involved. We'll let that be a surprise, I guess.
Yep. In fact, I got some of what I'm going to be doing in my hands right now.
Your hot dog hat.
Yep.
All right, well, don't spoil it. We'll see that tonight, and again, we'll see Tank in an hour. All right, hey, Big F.
Well, Brandon.
How are you?
I'm all right.
You excited? 2 first-round picks?
Yeah, I feel good. It's a big day.
It's a big day. It's
It is a
NFL
huge
draft.
It's a huge day.
And I don't care if it's if you think it's a weak draft. I don't care if you just don't want all quarterbacks. It's the fucking NFL draft. It's the number one sport in America, and it's the draft. It's still a big deal.
Do you want to know what today represents, Brandon?
Hope.
Hope.
Yeah.
That's what today represents, hope. And the this is a mass. The Giants have to hit. We got to hit both.
Yeah.
Got to go 2 for 2.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, Gettleman's went 0 for $1 billion.
Uh-huh.
Joe Shane's going to right the ship. 2 for 2 in this draft.
You Giants fans are in the middle of something right now that happens a lot in college football where you just immediately, without question, get on the idea and assume that the new guys are good and the old guys are bad.
No. Not the old guy was. I don't.
Fine.
Possible to get worse.
No, but I understand. You know the old guy was bad, but when you hire a new guy, and again, this happens in college football across the board. Immediately, the new guy is, it's a new day around here. We finally have competent people. We finally, like Clem this morning tweeted something to the effect of, it's great to we have two competent people handling this draft, and Shane or Sean, however you say it, and Dable.
Yep.
So you hope they're competent.
Yes.
You hope. You don't know they're competent either. You hope they are.
They came from a good regime.
Mm-hmm.
They came from success. They built a good team over there in Buffalo. I'm hoping they can do the same thing. I have no choice but to be optimistic.
Right.
I can't just shit on them until I see something different.
And that's the beautiful thing about sports, because you don't have to see better to feel like your team is better. You just have to see different.
Yep.
The second you see different, you're better in your mind.
I mean, he's just not Dave Gettleman.
Right.
That's a +1.
We'll have Stephen Shea drop in for the NFL draft talk, and God damn it, I'm ready this time. He's not going to shake me. He's not going to beat me. Stephen Shea will not beat me today. Will not happen.
No Stephen Curry talk.
No Steph Curry talk.
30 last night in a closeout game.
Yeah.
Not a superstar.
Kyrie Irving, a superstar, and Steph Curry, not a superstar. It was about as egregious of a take as I've seen in quite a while. I want to mention too, Brandon. This may be the biggest New Orleans sports day. Freaking 2 first-round picks in Game 6 is right during the draft. It's early tonight.
That's what I love about New Orleans, because there are certain teams that run towns, okay? In Atlanta, You can
Braves.
talk about the Falcons and the Hawks all you want. The Braves run that town. The Braves and the Georgia Bulldogs are the top 2 teams in that town.
Easily.
In New Orleans, the Pelicans exist, and they're in the playoff, and everybody's excited. Everybody's having fun, and we're calling it the blender. But the second the Saints go on the clock, everybody in that blender is going to be on their phone looking at the Saints. The Saints run that town by far.
Of course. Everybody grew up with the Saints. The basketball team's only been there since 2001. I mean, everybody grew up on the Saints.
Yankees run New York?
It's tough because we're so divided. I mean,
Knicks are big too.
To be honest, it's funny because when the Knicks are the best, the Knicks probably do.
Yeah.
They just never have been. I would say the Yankees, I guess. I mean, they've just won the most in the last 30 years. So I mean,
this is a fascinating debate for me.
New York, New York. It's even tough to say one team. The Knicks are just the team that everyone comes together on.
Like Denver, for example, has the Rockies. It has the Avalanche, who's very good. It has the
Nuggets, Broncos.
the Nuggets, and the Broncos. And the Broncos easily run that.
Yeah, well, everybody grew up on the Broncos.
Right. It's not even close. And how many cities with an NFL team are where the city is not run by that NFL team? Because Atlanta's
St. Louis used to be because the Cardinals run.
Correct.
St. Louis.
That's right. Atlanta is. I don't think L.A. I mean, L.A. is run by the Lakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Dodgers are big in L.A.
Yeah, I think the Rams at best are 3rd or 4th. Like L.A. is an example.
It's hard when they're new, but agreed still.
I'm gonna think on this.
I would say even back in the 80s when they had long-standing teams, they were still
all the Florida cities pretty much.
I think the Dolphins run Miami.
Yeah.
The Heat are probably bigger.
No. Dolphins run Miami.
That LeBron era.
Dolphins,
yeah, but that era.
The Heat are still new money. I think the Dolphins. I'm a Dolphins fan, so I'm being biased right now, Zah. I think the Dolphins run Miami.
Do the Titans or Predators run Nashville?
The Titans.
Okay, the Preds are big though.
Titans.
Okay, I just had that.
It's a good example, Zah.
I don't think hockey. I think
I'm trying to shit on you.
So far behind. I don't know.
That's true. You're right. Hockey doesn't even belong in it. I mean, obviously Cowboys, Houston. The Texans.
Oh, well,
the Eagles. The Eagles is definitely Eagles town, like Philly. I'm trying to even think of other.
I mean, Milwaukee's weird because Green Bay's not in Milwaukee.
I feel like you just said a town and then we moved off of it. Houston. The Texans don't run Houston.
Nah, they're also new.
They are newish, but yeah. So
I guess the Texans.
Right.
Even the Astros. I mean, not the Texans. The
Rockets
the
or the
Rockets. I would say probably the Rockets.
Probably whoever's going good at the time.
Yeah.
Because the Astros have been obviously they've been good recently.
Yeah. Huh.
No, but you're right. It's interesting, Brandon. The NFL runs. I mean, you make the argument that the NFL runs almost.
Okay, here's a town. Long-standing a team, long-standing with every sport has had all 4 sports forever. Who runs Detroit?
I feel.
I don't think it's
Red
the Lions.
Wings. I mean, you would think the Red Wings used to.
I think the Lions still do.
You think so?
I guess you have to ask somebody from Michigan. Obviously, I can't speak on their.
You have to ask Chris Castellani who runs.
Because obviously he's a Tigers guy, but I think he'd give you an honest answer though. What the city? I still think they're still they got real fans.
Can I give you a crazy? Can I give you a crazy one? Crazy one for that city? I think the Michigan Wolverines might run that city.
Yeah,
I
don't think that's crazy to say.
Huh?
Because I mean, he's a big Michigan fan as well, Castellani.
Should probably
see, but the problem with them is Michigan State's still obviously Michigan's bigger, but Michigan State's still pretty big in their own right.
Yeah, but even when Michigan State's big, they're not.
No,
Michigan,
for sure. I mean, Michigan's the blue blood.
Huh? Are we out of cities?
I know. I'm thinking, but I went East Coast. All the East Coast
that would have.
You got the.
Wait! Whoa! Time. I think one might have changed over the years. I think
Red Sox.
I think it's still the Red Sox town.
Yeah,
Austin. Even now.
Well, Patriots is almost not fair because it's New England, so they have a whole area.
But they still. I mean, they've been great. The Celtics goes back. Their dominance goes back decades and decades and decades.
They're just it's not fair. They all win.
Do we have a Bostonian in the building right now? I'd like to. It's really sad that It's really sad that we don't have a Bostonian in the building right now. That shows you how empty the office is when Barstool doesn't have a Boston person in the building.
For that, they all win so much. I think that would be the one where it would depend on the person.
But I think when they won championships, the Red Sox championships mean the most
because of the drought. Because I would say if it wasn't for the drought, I almost would even maybe argue the Celtics.
I felt like the Celtics and Red Sox until the New England run in the 2000s had so much more tradition than the Patriots.
The
then
Celtics
obviously
have.
the Patriots.
Anybody from Boston here? Nobody?
Hank's probably here.
He's upstairs if he's here.
I'll text him.
Yeah, I want to answer that question.
I know he's like. I honestly think he might say the Celtics. I know he's a huge Celtics guy.
It's interesting.
I think it's Red Sox.
What's Chicago?
I think it's
Cubs.
The Michael Jordan Bulls.
Yeah, the Chicago's interesting.
Chicago's interesting too. But
They're kind of like
they're going good. The Bears are gigantic. Like
They're
Bears
like
are
New-
huge.
they're like
Cubs.
New York.
It's Cubs.
kind
I
of-
think it's Cubs. I think they're a Cubs town first and foremost. Even though they're split.
Cubs are like so national that it's like almost hard to.
That's true. That's why I think that, because they're national. In Chicago's the only place where you really have White Sox fans. I thought that was Gaz, but no, that's a fat person. Not a fat person, but it's a thicker person than Gaz. I don't know who that person is. That person doesn't work here. Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, continuing until the first round of the draft is over, the Barstool NFL Draft Show. Again, that's EFF-EL Draft Show presented by Mamitas. Tonight, 8 p.m., I'll be in the host chair flanked by Roan and Stephen Shea. We will have a cavalcade of guests, both Barstool and non-Barstool. We've got some musicians, some comedians, some NFL players. We've got plenty of people coming in. I don't know if you watched last year, but the most electric part of that whole draft was Wallow and Gilly coming on for the Eagles pick. We have 2 Eagles picks tonight. We have 2 Giants picks tonight. We have
2 Jets.
2 Jets, 2
Saints. Megan and I are both on the Zoom. at the
2
same time,
Chiefs,
the
2
Saints.
Texans.
2 Chiefs.
Yep. 2 Packers.
7 teams with 2 picks. That's crazy.
Bananas.
That's crazy. So there you go. Tonight, NFL Draft Show. I'll be going to get my haircut right after the yak to be looking good. I wish I had my beard
Are
in.
you dressing up? Are you gonna? How are you dressing tonight?
Oh, brother.
All right.
Brother. I don't know.
You Shay and Roan is awesome. I love the combo. It's that's what makes Barstool so fun is the random personality combos. That's a really really good one.
I'd like to speak to the egregious. No, I'm not even gonna dignify it. I'm not even gonna do it.
The Bostonian that you requested is on the line.
Which Bostonian do I have on the line? That is. Oh, that's Hank. Hey, Hank.
You have to answer the phone.
Well, you told me he was on the line.
He's on.
You know how to use the line.
Hello, Hank.
I'm here.
Hank.
Hey, what's up?
I have a question.
How are you?
Good.
How are we?
We have gone through all the cities in the United States, and we're figuring out, like, in Atlanta, even when the Hawks or Falcons are good, it's a Braves town. The Braves run the town. Who runs Boston?
Whew, that's a loaded question.
Let me tell you the theories here.
The Red Sox or the Patriots?
Oh, not the Celtics? I would have the Celtics second.
Patriots.
Okay.
Like right now?
No.
That's where it changes. Obviously, it changes with the seasons.
No. Don't cop out. Do not cop out. If
every team was competing for a title, I think it would go Patriots, Red Sox, maybe Bruins, Celtics. Honestly, like
no, Hank.
when the Bruins are good, people get gassed up. I mean, you're asking me. I'm the one that's from there, Brandon.
I know, but I want to agree. I can still agree or disagree with you, even though I have no knowledge base whatsoever.
Hockey town. There's like a lot. There's deep hockey roots. There's deep Celtics roots. There's deep Red Sox roots. It's just a city of champions.
Well, okay.
It's one of those things. Like who's your favorite child?
I have mine ranked at all times, and I have 4 of them, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Sometimes it switches depending on the seasons. There's what's going on, right?
No, the girl's always number 1. Anyway, so the thing is, you don't think the drought, the 86-year drought, the curse of the Bambino, and then finally lifting it, and the absolute relief and joy that title brought, don't you think a Red Sox title means more?
It did then. Obviously, they've won 3 since then, so it doesn't mean – it's one of those things where it's like titles – no team is starving for a title. So it's just like they get behind whatever team is like in a championship run at the time.
Why are you filled up with a bunch of attitude today?
I'm not. That's the answer to the question.
Actually, now that I got Hank on the phone, I realized Boston fans are just pure assholes because they've won too much recently. They've won too much.
Well, yeah,
it's too happy. You need sadness in your life.
I've witnessed like 10 or 15 championships since I was a kid.
It's insane. Hey, I got a question, Hank. So what's the most rocking atmosphere for a playoff game out of Celtics, Red Sox, Bruins, and Pats? If there's like a huge conference championship game at home, what would be the
Good
best?
question, Ben Mintz.
Oh, man, dude, like it's tough to rank them. I would probably have to say Bruins or Celtics just because the Garden. And if I had to, I personally would pick Celtics just because I like the Celtics more myself. And when I'm at those games, I enjoy those games more than Bruins games. But I've been to some insane Bruins games.
So you actually have the Celtics fourth in running the town, but Big Ev predicted you would pick the Celtics because you're a big Celtics guy.
I am a big Celtics guy. If it was my personal rankings, they would be number one. But I am trying to speak for the entire city.
All right, Hank, this has been very helpful. Thank you for calling in to Pick Central.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
That's Hank.
So I was half right at least on who his number one was.
I think he's wrong.
I feel like the Pats, it's so cold in those conference championship games that maybe their atmosphere, just because the cold, isn't as rocking.
You know what we need? We need a 10-year stretch where all four of them suck.
That's what it is.
We need a 10-year stretch.
just-
Like because I promise you, in the '80s, nobody gave a fuck about the Patriots. No, nobody gave a fuck.
Had that
about
one Super Bowl run where they got killed
Right.
by the Bears.
In the '90s, nobody gave a fuck, and then Tom Brady changed everything. So
That's why I kind of feel like it would be the Celtics.
yeah, the Celtics are but the Red Sox are generational too.
No, the Red Sox have a strong argument as well, of course. When I think Celtics, like they've just been like when you go talk about Bill Russell and then like the Bird in the '80s and all this
Parquet
like,
floor.
they've just been like it's the guard. They play at the TD Garden. Like it's
I would text Dave and say Patriots, Red Sox, Bruins, or Celtics. Who runs Boston? I feel like he would say Patriots.
see he's a Patriots guy,
Yeah, so-
number one.
He would say Patriots. I'm texting Gas.
I think it's.
What you do with my phone?
I didn't touch your phone.
Gaz, I feel like would say Gaz is probably the least like true sports guy out of all of them.
Yeah, he's also kind of a piece of shit.
He's the true like jump on the playoff bandwagon.
Paulie playoffs on Twitter.
He's the
His whole
true-
life is bandwagon.
He's true like Paulie playoffs. That's who he is at his core. So I don't know who he would say. Like he would literally say whatever the best team is.
We got Stephen Shea coming in and talk NFL draft. All right, Celtics, Sox, Bruins, Pats.
Who runs Boston?
Oh shit! It says Pate. That's because I've been talking.
Because I feel like when you say who runs Boston,
runs Boston?
they're all gonna say Patriots just because they've won the most recently.
They've won so many titles though in that area.
When you
got 6 Pats, 4 Red Sox, 1 Boston Celtics, and 1 Bruins in this like last 15, 20 years, right?
Yeah.
I mean that's egregiously ridiculous.
Well, that was fun. Who runs Seattle? Supersonics.
Storm,
Seahawks are huge. in
the Sounders.
Yeah, Seahawks are enormous in Seattle, man. The
What'd you-
12s.
What'd you say, TJ?
Kraken.
There we go.
Kraken, baby. Yes, Kraken runs the Greater Northwest, and that is what it is.
Like the Washington Huskies.
So what?
Huskies.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
they're in Seattle.
All right, so here we go. NBA, we had two series end kind of without much fanfare last night. Bucks killed the Bulls. The Warriors handled the Nuggets. So now we have set up the Bucks and the Celtics, and it is official, or at least it looks official on Twitter. Chris Middleton, his MCL strain's a grade 2. He will not be available for the Celtics series. So that certainly hurts the Bucks. Takes away a big offensive and defensive weapon. Takes away probably their second best player.
I would say definitely their second best.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know what I'm saying. Probably their second best player against the Celtics. I mean, everything seems to be lining up Celtics right now.
No, I think that's going to be a big issue for the Bucks. Huge issue. I mean, Celtics are just playing fucking great basketball.
Celtics are good anyway. They don't need any advantage, and now, but the Bucks do have. The Bucks got that defending champs kind of thing, and they do have the best player. They have the best player.
I don't think the Bucks just can't win because of it, but I think it is a big factor. It's almost like it's because his defending is, I think, what's gonna like missing his defending. I think is going to be the big issue because now it's like who's going to guard Tatum.
Should we do a hey TJ, Pick Central Twitter account poll? Celtics, Pats, Red Sox, whatever. Put that out.
Bruins.
Put that out in the universe. Who runs? Just say who runs Boston. These are my choices. What?
Okay.
My prediction is it's Patriots in a runaway.
Zah, why are you laughing so?
Because you won't take Hank's word.
Well, I don't think Hank is the be all end all. I think it was good information to have. Who did he say, by the way?
He said Pats between the Pats and the Red Sox.
Yeah, and he said Bruins third, Celtics fourth.
Yeah, Celtics fourth.
I think that's wild.
It is a big hockey town. But I don't
It's
know.
a huge basketball town.
That's why I agree with you. I'd be curious to see.
A basketball Hall of Fame is like 20 minutes away.
Because I think the way that poll is going to be worded, I think the Pats are going to just run away with it. But I'd be curious, like what like Dave or somebody would say, like if you posted, like if nobody won for like 10 years, who runs the town still? And that's where I think the Celtics. I think if that was the case, I think Celtics might be at the top.
Stephen Shea is due to come talk.
I've never seen
That's
Frank.
That's his
calm.
feet, isn't it?
Did Frank like take a Xanax this morning? I've never seen him that calm.
Oh, Frank knows when the cameras are on, brother. There's no reason for Frank to be, going crazy right now. The
That's
show's
true, but he
later
just came
tonight.
in with like the most calming.
This is Hollywood Fleming, baby. This ain't.
Well, they have no picks also.
He got the yak coming up. He's not giving his best for Pick Central. You must be out of your mind.
He was raw.
Seen him yesterday after the Mets game.
Yeah, he was man. Yeah,
Even though they have the best record in baseball,
yeah.
they lost one game.
Now they did get in a fight.
They did.
Yeah, they did get in a fight.
And
Now
Pete Alonso's a bitch.
why is Pete Alonso a bitch? Because he's saying after the game he could put somebody in the hospital.
I think that's but like what an all-time soft move. Like, you know who says that? Who like says that after fights?
Somebody who can't
Guys
fight.
who don't fight.
Right, somebody who can't fight.
If you're like big tough guy, why don't you like you got thrown on your you got thrown
That
on
being
your back.
said, I mean, was it Arenado? Arenado was kind of a bitch too. He didn't even get hit, did he?
But I don't think he's a I don't
It
but,
was like an up and slightly in pitch.
Right,
It
like he
didn't
didn't
come
even
close
get
to
hit.
it,
but I don't think him charging but how does charging the mound make him a bitch?
The fact that he charged him out after not even getting hit.
I think that's like the opposite. He's like he's with all the smoke.
Hello, Steven.
What's up, you guys talking about fighting? I'll fucking put you in a hospital.
Tough night for your Steph Curry take.
Dude, it wasn't a take. Like, I thought about making him a
Here's
superstar
the
or not,
thing.
and then I leaned towards yes. and
You
it's
keep saying, oh sure, under those parameters he's a superstar. Under any parameter you think of, he's a superstar.
if
there
you're-
is
if
no
you're- if
parameter-
you're incorporating like advertising and commercials, like of course he's gonna get boosted up.
No, stop,
Or
stop saying it.
championships,
Stop
or
saying it.
all-time threes.
If you're incorporating
or
basketball, he's a superstar. Period.
Yes. Yep.
You don't have to go get commercials, and you don't have to go get in that. He's a superstar.
Yeah. Chris Paul's not a superstar under any means.
We'll discuss that. I think that he is, but
37.
that's an argument that could be had, and we could.
It's a fair argument.
That's a fair argument. Steph Curry is one of the three biggest superstars in basketball. It's KD, LeBron, Steph. Those are your big three. Giannis is next.
Okay, fine. Let's do this again. Define what a superstar is.
God damn it! Why can't you
on.
understand?
I should have brought it up. I
Make it
apologize.
simple.
It's
Make
your
it
big day. It's your NFL
nothing-
draft day. Let's get to it. My bad.
We can do nothing off the court. I think he's like the third best player in like the league.
No.
I'm like Giannis. Giannis, I'm taking one. I'm even considering at this point like LeBron's kind of older. Like I guess KD like he's bigger. I get it. I think Steph is like a no argument top 5 player in the NBA. That's my opinion. Right now.
I would argue he's like right. He's probably right around that like 5'6" area. Like I would take Luka over him. I would take.
You take Tatum over him. You said it yesterday.
I would take Tatum over him. I'd take Luka over
Crazy.
him.
I think it's too early. Like I just.
Jokic, I think you have to take over him.
Oh no. Oh,
The
I don't
The
know.
Denver playoff stuff.
We have Coley Mick on Twitter at Coley Mick. Our question on Twitter right now is who runs ball. We were talking about who runs every town out of all the sports.
Okay.
Like in Atlanta, they have the Falcons and Hawks, but the Braves run Atlanta. Who runs Boston? Red Sox, Patriots, Celtics, or Bruins?
Patriots are like 3rd or 4th.
Coley says Red Sox next question. He says
Yeah.
Red Sox.
Yes.
Hank said Patriots.
No.
I think it's Red Sox. I think it's a Red Sox
I'd agree
town,
with that.
first and foremost. The poll is exactly what Big F thought it would do. I mean, Patriots are going to win the poll.
They just have won like. I knew the way the poll was going to be worded that the Patriots would.
It literally just says who runs Boston.
Yeah, like that's the Patriots. I mean, like right now. Because our take was more like if there was a 10-year drought for everybody, who would still be like the team?
We're about to find out.
Oh,
About to find out what?
Like that.
I wasn't listening. What? About to find out
I
what?
said if there was a 10-year drought for every team, who would it be? He said we're about to find out.
Oh, I think we are with the Patriots too. Yeah.
The Patriots. I mean, the Celtics are going to be good. Jason Tatum's awesome, and Jalen Brown's.
I
really
have
good
no
too.
idea about the Bruins, and the Red Sox are always around.
I think the
Right.
Bruins
Red Sox are
always
like either
solid.
competing for a championship or they suck. They're like the volatility is just insane.
Kind of stinks so far this year.
Yeah, but like last year they were really good. They're just like so high low.
God damn it, Gaz. Can I just? I'm just going to take a picture of Gaz's answer, and and I'll let you post it on.
They can pull up Twitter.
It's on my text.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to send it to TJ right now. And this is, TJ, I'm sending it to you right now. This is a classic Gaz answer. TJ, what's your name? TJ? Mm-hmm. And we're going to get to the NFL draft shortly. Hello, Stephen Shea. How are you?
Doing good. It's draft day. Very exciting.
Your day.
You've got the picture there. So when you have it ready to put it on the screen, just let me know. Look at TJ laughing. Whatever. Fuck Gaz. Yes, it's draft day. NFL draft show tonight. Me, you, and Roan. You got it ready? I asked Gaz. I sent him this text. I said, Red Sox, Celtics, Patriots, Bruins. Who runs Boston? And he replies with this.
Fair.
What a bitch. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Gaz. Good looking out, buddy. NFL draft day. Here, I'm ready I got some questions for you. You ready?
Yep.
I asked you yesterday. I'm asking you again today. Who goes number one?
Seems like it's Trayvon Walker. The odds are still moving in that favor.
Trayvon Walker.
Minus 350, I saw.
It's minus 400 this one.
Traits over production.
Yeah.
Potential over production.
Yep. I don't dislike the traits over production, but it's like his production was just bad.
Right.
He's not ready to go. Like he's not going
He needs to have better production than that.
Yeah. He had 3 games last year with 1 tackler less.
Yeah.
He's a 1-year starter, so that's what 25.
He's also on such an elite defense where he didn't face double. He didn't have to deal with doubles and stuff.
Yeah. I don't see it. I picked him as my biggest bust of the draft. I mean, I don't think that's a crazy take.
No,
I think he'd be fine, but like number 1 pick, like this guy's not. He's not that guy.
If you were, where would you take him? Like, where do you think he actually fits in your mind?
I think he's like a project, like top 10 pick. Like he's very similar to probably his future teammate Josh Allen. Josh Allen was a lot more refined coming out of Kentucky, like SEC Defensive Player of the Year out of Kentucky. Really good, could drop. Like that's the thing about Trayvon Walker. It's like, oh well, he can drop in coverage. It's like, okay, cool. Are you paying him to do that? Like,
it's a bad. I'm not taking a shot at you. I think it's a bad comp because Josh Allen dominated.
And he crushed
Yes, he was
Kentucky.
incredible.
I'm talking like
and that was when
physically, like,
Kentucky
traits.
started
Yep.
getting to the next level.
You know what it reminds me of,
mediocre
and
to
it's a selfish one because of who I'm a fan of. It reminds me of when Deion Jordan,
Ugh.
Oregon, jumped up to number 3 based on traits. He had no production really. I mean, he was
skinny. Yeah.
right. But the Dolphins saw something that said this is my number 3 pick,
Right.
and he never did a goddamn thing.
Yep.
He reminds me of him.
Yeah.
And there are many others that were just traits over production. But number 1 pick, man.
Like I said, 30-1 a month ago, and now he's the odds-on favorite.
Wow.
He has played 0 games.
So is that a no-brainer for Detroit at 2, Hutchinson, or what?
Kayvon Thibodeau is moving up in the rankings. There was always kind of smoke, like, all right, Hutchinson's going to go 1, Thibodeau's going to be the guy going number 2. I don't see him being a Dan Campbell guy. So
What, Hutchinson?
yeah,
Oh.
no, sorry,
Thibodeau.
Thibodeau. Yeah, I think Hutchinson is for sure. I think
Right.
he's exactly what he wants. So he's a hometown kid, grew up in Dearborn, Michigan. Like that's went to Michigan, obviously. Like that's your guy. So I feel like if they pass on him, it's gonna be a big uproar out of the Motor City. But I think that they will pick him.
Let me ask you this. All right, so who's the Aaron Rodgers of this year? Meaning, who's the guy that could have been in the mix for a high pick and the green room guy, the guy who falls? Who's the fall of the draft?
All the quarterbacks. I don't think Malik Willis is going to go that early.
So he was projected 32nd one today.
Yeah, it wouldn't be crazy. Like I've heard Pittsburgh really, really likes him. So I think his floor is 20. But I mean, if we're talking about the first quarterback going at 20, that's pretty nuts.
Wild, yeah.
I had him in my mock, the Titans trading up to 15 and getting them. His over under is 13.5, I believe, with the juice going on the over. So
I think he goes. I think 15, 16, 17 somewhere in there is probably where the first quarterback goes because Pittsburgh is sitting there at 20. At some point, some quarterback needy team is either going to say we're jumping over Pittsburgh or Pittsburgh's going to get paranoid and they're going to jump up themselves.
Yep.
I think that's what's going to happen. I think around 15, like Saints have 16 and 19, so you could deal with them easily.
Well, they just dealt to get into those spots, so I'd be surprised if they then want to pivot out.
Fair enough.
Never trade down either.
Do they not?
Never. With Loomis, it's crazy. It's everything's always why worry about anything later when you can worry about it now. It's pretty much the organizational philosophy.
So when I ask which team is the first to pick a quarterback, you don't think it's Steelers? You have mocked the Titans.
I've mocked the Titans, and I'm going to stand on that answer. I think they're going to trade up.
What about Carolina? Because their quarterback situation is
They just pick too high, and they don't have a lot of ammunition. So if they don't pick one at 6, they don't really have the juice to go back and
in.
get one.
I mean, they are great. Their quarterback situation right now is
bad.
Yeah,
and they wouldn't consider trying to go from 6 to 15 to make it a little more.
They are
sense.
trying to trade down.
But
so
nobody else is trying to trade up.
Yeah, their GM Scott Fritter said the other day, oh, we really like 2 QBs at 6. It's all right, well. They've been aggressively trying to trade back for a couple weeks now.
All right, Big Ev's a Giants fan. Big Ev and Stephen Shea, what's the perfect draft for the Giants? They're 5 and they're 7.
Yeah. Perfect draft for the Giants in my mind would be trading back and pick up a first next year because Daniel Jones, we don't know.
Right.
So you want to arm him with guys that can produce, but if you look at it, once you get past really.
But you could get a tackle and a receiver for the next guy, like a possibly elite tackle, possibly elite receiver for the next guy.
Yeah, but then you're not going to have that flexibility to move up. If there's a guy you really, really like next year you want to move up, you're borrowing them from the future. So in my mind, if I was a Giants fan, ideally we would get either Evan Neal or Sauce Gardner because it seems like James Bradbury is a goner, which is crazy.
Yeah, he's going to get traded, I think.
But I would fill one of those needs, and then ideally you trade back to the middle back end of the first round for hopefully a team looking to come up for a quarterback. I originally had the Saints coming up, and then build up assets for the future. So if Daniel Jones is not the guy, which he might still be, then you can go up next year and get him. And if not, then you kind of have a more picks in a stronger class.
All right, everybody in the room. So Stephen Shea's already said his. I'll let him explain it a little bit while we formulate ours. Who is the in 5 years, 10 years? Who's the biggest bust of the draft? You've already said you think if he's the number 1 pick, it will in fact be Trayvon Walker.
That helps because you're gonna. If 2 guys are equal, the higher pick is going to be the bigger bust. So yeah, I think Trayvon Walker. I'm not completely sold on Thibodeau either.
Yeah,
he's worries me because I worry about his motor. I don't know. He's got all the athleticism and skills, but I worry about his motor.
Yeah.
And does he love football?
Yeah.
What about you? You got yours off the top of your head? I got mine if you want me to go.
For me, honestly, I just really don't like Malik Willis. I just don't think he's going to pan out. He's so inaccurate. I watch him even when they play good teams. And I talked about it a few days ago. Liberty brought they were a good team 2 years ago. They brought back literally the entire offense,
right,
and they really just weren't good. He's inaccurate. Even when they played high level competition like Ole Miss, he looked terrible.
He was awful against them.
I'm just not a believer. I just don't really like Malik Willis.
Who's yours?
I found a cop out on Shea. I don't want to. I'll say somebody different than Shea just because I don't want to copy him, even though I get his point on Trayvon Walker. I'm going to say Thibodeau just because I worry. He's so the talent. It depends on where he goes, but he's got all the attributes you want, and he dominated. But I always kind of question if a lot of those Oregon guys even love football in general on the West Coast. So I'm a little concerned about him.
One I'd also throw out there that a lot of people are very high on. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
If you were about to go a second time and steal mine, that would have been bullshit.
Go ahead.
You know it. Mine's Derek Stingley.
Okay.
Was that yours?
No.
Okay, good. I think Derek Stingley as a freshman was fantastic and spent 2 years getting worse. Spent 2 years thinking of reasons not to get on the football field. Spent 2 years letting little nagging injuries stop him. Spent 2 years giving up when he was on the field, giving up a ton of fucking passing yards. If you're picking him 3rd, 4th, 5th, that's a bust. He is not that dude. The idea of him is great, and the snapshot of him. Look at his high school tape. You look at what he looks like in a football uniform. My God. And then you see LSU being 127th against the pass the last 2 years. He wasn't good.
He's the favorite to go 3rd now, right?
Right.
So there was a
Is
thing.
that the story? The Texans love him.
His over/under was 9.5, and I went to 7.5 this morning.
When Sauce Gardner is sitting there, just an incredible-looking prospect.
Yep.
I have no idea why you take a flyer on the possibility Stingley is good.
I don't even think
I know Sauce Gardner's good.
Right. I don't even think that Stingley necessarily has a higher ceiling than Sauce Gardner. Like, as far as like traits and measurables, like Sauce Gardner's right there with him, if not better, in almost all the categories. So
if I had to take a rubber stamp and just say this is the guy I think is the most sure thing, I think Sauce Gardner's my guy.
I think he's the best player. As the Giants, like I want him bad. Like he's in any scenario that they get Sauce Gardner, I think it was a good first round. I really do.
Are your other bust?
I've heard this guy can go as high as number 4.
Mm-hmm.
It's Drake London from USC. He's great physically. He's like 6'4", 219. Runs in the 4.5s, but that's good for a guy that size. He struggles to separate, and I've seen spots where he just toasts a DB, and that's fine. But consistently, he's not the guy in college to do that. And I know he put up incredible numbers. He's an incredible contested catch guy. I think I mentioned that he won dunk contest, was recruited to college for basketball. But those guys don't always pan out. Like I think about Laquan Treadwell or J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, or guys that are great jump ball guys that are not
physical, that don't separate.
Right. The thing that translates immediately is your ability to run routes and separate. And if you don't have that, I worry about you.
All right, Steven. So as the opposite of the bust, I've already said Sauce Gardner. He might have somebody else, but he likes Sauce Gardner too. Who's the sure thing of this draft?
The surest.
There's no such thing as a sure thing, but who's the closest to a sure thing?
The closest thing to a sure thing. I mean, the chalk answer is going to be Kyle Hamilton. I really like Sauce Gardner, who you said already. Another guy I like Jermaine Johnson, the second out of Florida State. Questions about him because a lot of his production came in 2 games against Miami, and I think like Jacksonville State. But I just think as far like his pass rush win rate isn't exactly where it needs to be as a JUCO guy. Went to Georgia, couldn't get on the field as much as he would have liked. Went to Florida State, now he's ACC Defensive Player of the Year. But what I like is if you have questions about his production, let's see what he does against guys of similar skill sets and age and stuff like that. So at the Senior Bowl, he really tore it up. You see him like running over guys. He's a guy that plays with a chip on his shoulder. So he's a guy that I like to translate to the next level, and I think he's going to be a top 10 pick.
Big Ev, you got anybody else other than Sauce Gardner that you like as a sure thing?
Honestly, I like Jermaine Johnson because it's funny because I'm a big Last Chance U guy. He was like at Last Chance U. Yep. I just remember watching him, even like that first game against Notre Dame. Like I just remember him just like jumping off. I remember I tweeted about it. This guy's everywhere.
Which Last Chance U was he on? Kansas?
No, yeah, he was in the Kansas one. He wasn't like a huge focal point.
Okay.
Like they weren't doing like interviews with him day to day, but he was like their best player. Like
we don't talk enough about how just really stupid that Kansas coach was. What a joke that those seasons were. The Kansas Independent.
Yeah, the first year they were great, and then the second year
the first year they went 1-10.
No. When they were on TV, they were great, and then the second year they were awful.
No. They had a big year. Then the camera crews arrived, and they went like 1-10.
That was the second year. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think that's right. The first year they went 1-10.
The first year they were like 7-2, and then the second.
That's
year,
right.
And the second year they were like god awful. Like I think they won like 1 game or 2 games.
Ooh,
It smells like weed.
It smelled. Did somebody's
got the
weed
funk.
just walk in?
Somebody's got the funk.
It's not me.
Nah, not me.
I assure you.
Is that random girl out there? God damn.
Man,
that's strong.
that's a strong whiff.
Let me get back to it another one.
I got one.
Give it to me.
Okay, go ahead. Or do you want me to go ahead?
I'm talking to you, Ben Mintz.
Okay. I like Olave. I know that Ohio State's got multiple guys, but I love his route running. He always reminded me of Justin Jefferson a lot, and I think that's going to translate awesome to the NFL. And I would love if he ended up being a New Orleans Saint, the Ohio State Saint tradition. There have been a lot of them through the years.
All right, so let's you're here. Rank the receivers: Drake London, Olave, Garrett Wilson.
He doesn't have London one, I don't think.
I don't.
Jamison Williams,
a surprise one,
and then I'll say Treylon Burks.
I have a guy you didn't even mention.
Jahan Dotson.
Pickens.
Yeah.
Jahan Dotson.
I like Dotson too.
Dotson's
I
my
do.
favorite.
I've said after I watched him abuse Sean Wade, I think
he's not going to go that high. Do you think?
He'll be a first rounder, but he's not going to be like a top 10. Probably not top 15. I mean, all these receivers are just kind of like what's your flavor? Like,
but he's your favorite guy.
He's my favorite guy. I think Garrett Wilson's good. I don't think he's going to be like the next Odell Beckham or something like that. But he's an explosive guy, very good football awareness, intelligence, that type of thing. Olave's nice, but he's not like particularly strong. His play strength isn't great. He's fast for college, but like when you go to the NFL, like he's not particularly fast. I know he had like a good 40 and stuff like that, which by the way was insane how they.
It was like Was it like a 4 something?
It's like 0.11 off. Like
I was flexing that so hard.
Wait, what? How would you mean? It was
he
on
ran
the combine. They timed him like a 4, like a low
2.6.
4.2,
Yeah.
and then it really was like a 4.39.
Who was the other guy that we thought had set the record or something? It was another guy outside of him, right? Thought somebody ran like a
4.22.
Was it Tyquan Thornton?
It was Tyquan Thornton.
Yes.
Yeah. It was Tyquan Thornton. We thought he had set the modern record for the fastest ever, and it was just like he's still very fast.
Right. Yeah. We're talking. We're
Even with Olave, he still was sub 4.4.
Yeah, he was 4.39.
I've read the guy I was gonna say I was losing his name. I really like Karlaftis.
Yeah,
I
do
just
too.
watch him a lot in the Big Ten. I feel like he's just your classic like prototypical like four down lineman, like down D end.
He's got what I call defibrillator hands. So like a lot of people say like, oh, he plays with heavy hands, plays with shock in his hands, but defibrillator, he just psh.
You trying to get that as a thing?
Yeah, I need to figure out how to pronounce that word better. But
Yeah, you're not strong enough with defibrillator. It's not an easy word to
I
pronounce.
was trying to spell it. The spell check wasn't even recognizing it. So
Defib hands. You're gonna have to show that somehow.
yeah, but he's big time. But yeah, he's more of like a 4-3 defensive. He's
He's like a down D lineman, like 4, but I feel like he's just like your class. Like he plays the run well too, but he can like get after the passer.
The knock on him is like, oh, he's not twitchy, like he's not a great athlete. He was like a high level like water polo player in high school, and he came over from Greece. He was like a high level like water polo player in high school.
Wow.
That's okay. All right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Also, I just watched a lot of college football. Devin Lloyd, I think, is a monster too.
Oh yes, he's a guy I love.
A lot of people have been predicting
He's been
the
falling, but
Saints
like every time I watch
pick the Utah linebacker.
you like can't watch a Utah game and he just like stands out. He's everywhere.
He's gonna fall.
That's what I was seeing. What's the medical thing?
I've heard some things about medical. I talked to somebody in the know, and they're like, I wouldn't really buy into his medicals too much. But the word on the street is like his medicals are falling, which means somebody could grab him up a little bit higher. But I did make a pretty substantial waiver on Trent McDuffie before Devin Lloyd, so I think that's where it's going. I think McDuffie's
I've been seeing some like him going even like 11, 12.
McDuffie?
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
How far does Kenny Pickett fall, you think? Because, I mean, he was hyped to go early. His Wonderlic obviously was bad.
I feel like he's not getting past Pittsburgh. Like, if Pittsburgh just stays put and we're assuming Malik Willis goes before him, I don't see him really, like.
But if Pittsburgh needs a quarterback that badly and loves Malik Willis, it would stand to reason they would go get him. They would do the effort to go get him.
Sure, but if they have, like, similar grades on both guys and, you could sit back and just get one, you might want to do that. The knock on him is the small hands, but he played in Pittsburgh, so that shouldn't really be an issue for him. They also have a penchant of drafting guys who aren't necessarily Pitt players. I mean, James Conner for sure, but just guys that have done really well at Heinz Field where their scouts and stuff are. Like you look at the who was it? Mason Rudolph and James Washington. Like both had enormous games in Pitt. They draft him the next year. So I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of stuck to that.
All right, Giants fan, do you know who Stephen Shea has you mocked to get today? He has you mocked to get Evan Neal, tackle out of Alabama.
I'd be ecstatic with.
And Kayvon Thibodeau, defensive end out of Oregon.
Thibodeau, I'd less ecstatic, but I'd sell myself on it.
That's Seven's value based on.
Sounds like a Gettleman draft.
Like
sounds like another Gettleman draft.
My dream would be one of the linemen in Sauce Gardner. That's like I'd be absolutely ecstatic if we landed one of the linemen.
So you'd have to get Sauce at 5 and then probably get the tackle at 7. Actually,
I believe I had Sauce off the board at 4, so
it's right behind you.
Oh.
And
just the fact that if Stingley really is going to go 3, like that makes me like feel good about the Giants' chances because earlier in the week I was thinking he probably wasn't going to get there, and now I think there's a decent chance that he does.
Now you got Charles Cross at 9 to the Chargers. Didn't they get their big time left tackle last year in the draft?
They did. Rashawn Slater.
So he'll play right tackle.
Yeah.
Charles Cross. Yeah. That's interesting.
Also, because I was seeing apparently the Giants and Panthers both like love Charles Cross. Are you buying that?
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't be like there. I feel like he's like plus 400 or something like that for the first offensive tackle taken. Wouldn't be the most surprising thing. People I talked to around the league think Evan Neal's the guy. But Ike Ekwonu is like the one you see most commonly mocked. Like he's still in play for the first pick overall. So we'll see.
All right, so Saints fan, he's got you getting Trevor Penning out of Northern Iowa and Treylon Burks out of Arkansas.
I wouldn't have a problem with this. The Saints do have a history of taking the small school offensive linemen. I could see the Penning thing, especially with Armstead leaving. That makes a ton of sense. I wouldn't have a problem with it. I like Burks. I mean, I think he's just a playmaker. I mean, for his size, he can run. He's very versatile. Yep. I would love that. I kind of feel like, you really can't go wrong. I know, like you said, the receivers, it's what flavor is it, Shay? I like a lot of these guys. I think, and you see how well receivers are transitioning college football, the NFL, and Burks didn't have a great passer necessarily, and I thought he was dominant, so I wouldn't hate that at all, even though I saw you take a shot at Mike Thomas again, saying Burks would be the best receiver on the team in your mock draft today.
Your mock draft doesn't reflect your receiver rankings, which is fine because you're mocking what the NFL is going to.
Correct.
So you've got Drake London going as the first receiver.
Correct. Which I also bet plus 200.
Then you have Garrett Wilson at 13.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Jamison Williams at 18, Treylon Burks at 19, Chris Olave at 22, on and on and on. It feels like you've got receivers lower than most mock drafts.
That's fine. I'm comfortable.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, 8 I feel like is when people start to put the receiver in. I've heard Drake London can go at 4. Like, legitimately, I think his floor is 10.
Man, I feel like he'd be a bust if he was a Jet. I smell a rat on that one.
We'll see. I don't think he's going to go as high as 4, but I don't really see him slipping past 10. I've heard the Falcons really like him, and
Jahan Dotson to the Cards. The Cards just continue to get good receivers.
Oh, I didn't realize that you had Packers going double receiver.
Yeah.
Are you a Watson guy or no?
He's pretty raw, but I mean he's huge. He's 6'4". He can run. He ran like a 4.37. There's that awesome clip of him doing like was it the reverse or the end around for like a 55-yard touchdown. He's great. He's playing against lower level competition for sure. But he's a bit of a project. Yeah, he's had some.
I gotta ask. I see you have Corral sneaking in the first round. I feel like I hope you're right, but I kind of have some questions on it.
I've heard Washington likes him a lot.
What about his very questionable background check and his
Wonderlick
and just his decision making, his being quite stupid, his being ugly? Why? Yeah, thoughts?
I've just heard Washington's doing a lot of due diligence on quarterbacks and him specifically. So that's kind of where I made that tie. And obviously, if you get into the end of the first round, it's more advantageous, especially if you're going to sit a guy potentially for a year, just to get that fifth-year option.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hello, Jerry.
I just wanted to hang out and listen. My chair's uncomfortable at my desk.
All right. Well, we've got draft analyst Stephen Shea in here. He believes you guys are going to stay put at 20
so do I.
and take Kenny Pickett instead of try to get Malik Willis.
No, I don't know. I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback in the first round.
Really?
No.
But it seems like everybody in the world believes they are.
I mean, all Steelers on Twitter, all the fans, they think, they're getting Malik or they're getting Kenny Pickett. I don't see it. I see them drafting wide receiver Chris Olave at number 20.
Really?
Interesting. Do you think they might get Ritter second round out of Cincinnati?
Yeah, they went to his pro day.
Okay.
I love Ritter. Ritter's my favorite
See
quarterback.
that wouldn't be bad.
I could see it.
I think they did. In fairness, I think they did their due diligence when it's all of the quarterbacks pro days and met with everybody.
They did that. I know they took Corral to dinner in Oxford because there were reports.
Yeah, they did.
Taco Bell
at City Grocery.
Posted it
and then the Carolina Panthers coaching staff was up drinking at the bar, asking opinions of the bartenders about Corral, which I thought was very interesting.
It's the right place to ask about him.
When do you think Malik's going to go, Shay?
I had him going at 15. I feel like his floor is 20 because I heard Pittsburgh really does like him.
Oh, they love him.
Yeah. So
Tomlin loves him.
Yeah. So, I mean, if that's your guy, why would you not go get him?
I don't think they will.
Well, if they love him so much, though.
Well, you've seen it with Devin Bush. I would kind of burn them. Oh,
you know what you're doing?
What?
You want Malik Willis, don't you? You're poor talking. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. You're poor talking. You're doing the whole Lou Holtz thing. Yeah, you want Malik Willis bad, but you don't want to predict
I haven't said it on Twitter or anything like that.
You think Kevin Colbert's watching Pick Central? He's like, maybe.
Last draft for Kevin Colbert. Done an amazing job all these years. Really good guy.
Yeah,
it's over for him right after the draft. Yep.
My buddy is in the running for GM, John Spytek. Hopefully,
As a Steelers fan, I'm sorry, we have breaking news in my headphone. We have breaking news on we have breaking news here on Pick Central.
Has a face.
Has a face. Let's see it.
It's big.
As expected, the Giants are not picking up. Daniel Jones' fifth-year option, according to a source. But if he plays well, obviously a chance to cash in. So you guys are not betting on your quarterback.
Beautiful thing.
What does that mean?
Lying season. So they have until next week to make this decision. They are trying to get someone to trade up to 5.
Look at you, Stephen Shea.
Smart, because I'm down to trade back.
They're trying to convince teams that they're in the
quarterback market. So, hey, if you want to get a court, you got to get up
here.
Look
at you, Stephen Shea. Seeing the metagame.
The deadline's next week. So, okay, whoever did that as a plant.
But I think it would make a lot of sense for them not to pick up the option.
Also, Zal, your face was way too surprised for that piece.
You have no other.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta
what's your
sell it.
alternative?
You see Big Ev's
Oh,
face?
draft another one. I mean, I think if he plays good this year, then you just re-sign him.
I know, but then the price tag goes way, way up.
That's fair, but I just think what he's looked like right now, to give him $20-some million for that 5th season.
It's not dissimilar from what's going on with Sam Darnold. It's all right, we haven't really. I think he's better than Sam Darnold, but it's all right, we haven't really seen the production yet. They picked up his 5th-year option. They're okay, crap. We're paying this guy whatever $20 million for this year. You don't want to be in necessarily that situation, but I mean, the owner said we've done everything we can to mess this kid up. I think he has.
Fair. It is fair. It is fair. The line's been awful. Even the signings we made, draft picks,
coaching turnover.
They've been hurt. Tony was hurt all last year. Galladay was bad. I mean, not even bad. He just was hurt or just not productive.
Bucks super fan, Stephen Shea.
Yep.
Who you got the Bucks getting?
In my last mock, I had Travis Jones, defensive tackle from UConn. I think that's one bet that I feel really good about is the Bucks to draft a defensive player with their first pick. The Bucks have them going offensive, specifically offensive line. I don't see it. We lost our best left guard as a Pro Bowler, Ali Marpet, he retired. And then our right guard, Alex Kappa, went to Cincinnati and kind of got a bag. So we have 2 holes. We traded for Shaq Mason. We have another guy, Aaron Stinney, who played really well in our playoff run. He's on a 1-year deal. He's cheap, and he was effective in his time. So I don't see them spending a first-round pick, even though there probably will be 2 guards that are fairly highly regarded in that area. I don't see them going that way. They have too many holes on defense.
Jerry,
minus 104.
Jerry, you're going to be part of the Barstool Sports NFL Draft Show tonight.
Yep.
NFL Draft Show. I don't know how you would say it to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
N.
You excited?
Yeah, I'm excited. First one ever. I'm doing the Texans at 3. I got 2 Chiefs picks and Steelers.
They gave you you got.
I think that was a little dig at me a little bit, honestly, for that postseason loss. But it is what it is.
I don't know.
That's for
he was looking for warm bodies, buddy. Looking for warm bodies.
Yeah, I just got half the Saints.
Well, you got 2 picks.
Yeah, that's true.
And
I'm happy.
You and Megan making money. Will be
we're going to be on
those,
Zoom together.
And you'll be sharing. You know who you'll be sharing your Steelers pick with?
Ike Taylor. Yep.
Ike Taylor. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm supposed to say guess, but that's okay. One guess can't hurt.
Like Taylor told 2 incredible stories when he was on Going Deep with Willie Clone and I. One of them was that
Surf and Turf.
The podcast formerly known as Surf and Turf. Yes. One of them was in his final years. He just wore an iPod Mini in his helmet. He had the equipment guy rig it up, so he was just listening to music all game.
What?
Because he had been in Dick LeBeau's defense for 10 years. So all they would do was just communicate a hand signal to him, and he wouldn't even go in the huddle. He would just be
That's
Bob
funny.
and listen to music
Wow.
the entire game.
That's great.
And the other one was that in their Super Bowl year, I figured it was the 05 one or the 08 one or whatever it was, 2006, 2009. That year, the next year, they would, or I think it was the Tomlin year, so the second one, they would go to take a train. The whole starting defense would take a train to New York City.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Overnight.
They'd
And just
party.
go and party.
Yeah.
With P. Diddy and some other big celebs, and then just take a train back the next morning.
Yep. That's true.
Interesting. Might ask him about that tonight. All right, so NFL Draft. Again, 8 o'clock. Stephen Shea will be a huge part of it. I'll be hosting. Jerry will be a big part of it. We've got other people. Dave will be on there. Dion will be on there. Dan will be on there. Everybody who's somebody at Barstool will be on there, except for the people that couldn't be here because they're doing something else. We got to do picks. We'll do picks right now.
5 o'clock Twitter Spaces.
Hey,
Shay and me.
Oh, yeah, pump
come
that.
back for the
I will. I'll make sure I pump it on Twitter. 5 o'clock Twitter Spaces with Shay and me, though.
5 o'clock Twitter Spaces with Stephen Shea and Ben Mintz.
To the ad.
You can go if you'd like. Oh, shit.
Okay, I'll make it quick. Cuts Clothing has spent years perfecting men's T-shirts, taking look good, feel good to a whole new level. Right out of college, Cuts founder and CEO Stephen Borelli got a job at an agency with a casual dress code. But his first week, he was told his shirt was too athleisure. He searched all over for a presentable and stylish tee, but couldn't find any that fit the bill, so he solved the problem himself. Refresh your wardrobe in time for summer with Cuts. See for yourself why Cuts is one of the fastest-growing men's brands with over 1 million shirts sold. Get 15% off your first order by going to cutsclothing.com/picks. That's CUTSclothing.com/picks.
All right, picks. I guess I'll go first, just in the name of quickness, because we took too long today. I like the Suns to go ahead and close this thing out. Suns -2. I just feel like they're, we have the same scenario 3 different times tonight. 3 teams up 3-2 trying to close out on the road. I like the Suns to do it. I like the Mavs to do it. I think they'll both do it. I like the Sixers, Raptors. I don't like the Sixers do it, but I like them to go over 211, under 210, and then just because I'm a bitch, Matt Corral over 35.5 as his draft position. So, Big F.
All right, so I'm on the Padres. It actually already started. They're up 1-0. I'm on the Nationals money line, and I'm on the Raptors tonight +1.5. I had to because I took them to win the series plus like 600. So
fair enough.
I'm on the Raptors to win tonight.
Ben Mintz.
I am on Nola +2.5 because I'm a blatant homer. I got the Raptors +1.5. I'm adding the Mavs, and I've got 2 Stephen Shea bets. Quay Walker to go first round, and I'm taking under 7.5 on Derek Stingley on the Barstool Sports.
Quay Walker wasn't in your first round.
He was.
He was.
Oh, was he?
21
made-
to the Patriots.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
I put that out as my lock of the draft the other night, and he was at 32.5. Not only did the odds move, the line moved. His pick went to 22.5 overnight. After
at
I
you.
sent that out.
Look
Not
at
saying that
Moving the line.
Oh, moving the line, Shea.
10 picks is a lot.
That'll move the chains. God damn it, I hate you so much. All right, so the Yak is up next. There it is. The Yak is up next. It's a crew today, buddy. It's going to be a crew. We'll figure
Chicago
it out.
shirt on today, huh?
Huh? What? Yeah, I mean, I'm just wearing a shirt. I just grabbed a shirt out of. Not a big deal. Who runs Boston? The people think the Patriots do.
Hold it.
With 4,600 votes, I think they're wrong. It's interesting that the Celtics Bruin combined for 19. Not great. Oh, and Celtics lost some just now. Anyway, the Yak is up next. Thank you, boys. We'll have our post-draft spectacular tomorrow.